A very good evening to you. Welcome to the West Ham Voice on Sunday evening. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you're all looking forward to the game against Bournemouth this coming Monday evening. Look, we have a fairly decent record games on a Monday night. You know, we beat Newcastle, we beat Wolves, so maybe it's our lucky night. Who knows? With just a few weeks away from the winter transfer window opening and the transfer rumours are growing, it's going to be interesting to see what sort of team Julen Lopetegui puts out against Bournemouth and the coming games over the next over December to see what kind of approach we might take in the transfer windows. An awful lot of gossip at the moment about an awful lot of players leaving rather than coming in. With anything up to about 5 or 6 players apparently on the transfer list. And of course, we've still got the rumor going around about Lopetegui. If he loses the game against Bournemouth, we're going to be looking at replacing him. I guess every game is going to be like that, isn't it now? If we lose a game, then the rumors of him leaving are going to heighten. If we win a game, then he's got a respite. And of course, with Gary O'Neill having just been sacked from Wolves, of course, people are putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with 5 as usual. But before any of those rumours, before any of the gossip about transfers, etc., we have that game to look forward to on Monday night against Bournemouth. Now, look, if you're new to this channel and you've yet to become a subscriber, then please do subscribe to the channel. Free of charge, doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. Hit the bell notification to let you know when the next show is on. And at the very least, even if you don't subscribe, please do hit the like button if you appreciate the content. Now, Bournemouth are the informed team at the moment, or an informed team at the moment, having picked up 3 wins on the bounce, and they will be confident heading into this game against West Ham on Monday night. They're currently 7th in the league with 24 points, and they will want to push in the position that they're in for a European qualification this season. Just being a point behind 6th place Aston Villa. A win against West Ham on Monday night will elevate them above Villa and will be only a point behind 5th placed Nottingham Forest. So they've got everything to play for. Meanwhile, West Ham were unable to get a consistent run of wins under our belts at the moment. But the win over Wolves last Monday might be the catalyst, despite it being quite an unconvincing performance. We kind of said that when we played Newcastle and then we faced Arsenal, of course, straight after. Look, a win against or a draw against Bournemouth on Monday night is important, but for many different reasons to those of Bournemouth's. Well, are they though? Because Bournemouth are aspiring to get into Europe. They're playing pretty good, attractive football. West Ham United are not necessarily playing attractive football, but we're not that far away from nearer the European places, much closer, of course, than we are to the drop zone. But it's the performance that's important, and a good performance and a good result could do the world of good, restore a little bit of confidence back into this West Ham United side. If there is a positive to take from the game against Bournemouth is that we're unbeaten in 5 of our previous 6 meetings against them. Bournemouth have more than their fair share of injuries going into this game, with as many as 5 players missing out. The home side will be without defenders Julen Iraola, Marcos Senesi, plus striker Luis Sinisterra due to thigh injuries, as well as midfielder Alex Scott. And they're also going to be missing Marcus Tavernier because of a recent hamstring injury. Now, he's quite a miss. Most of their players will be, but so far this season, he's assisted in 4 of their goals. However, Andoni Iraola, I looked it up, Andoni Iraola can call upon some real talent in the team who have scored 23 goals in their 15 games so far this season. They have midfielders such as Lewis Cook, David Brooks, Ryan Christie, and Antoine Semenyo, who are all on the score sheet so far this season. Most of them admittedly only 1 goal, but apart from Semenyo, who has actually got so far this season 4 goals plus 1 assist. they've got quite an industrious midfield. They've got a midfield that's creative, but at the same time, their midfield is quite industrious. They're quite difficult to break down. Now, in addition to that, their front line, that's where they can really do most of the damage against West Ham United with players like Justin Kluivert, Dango Utara, and Brazilian Evan Nilsson. They've scored 11 of their 23 goals so far this season. Iraola, yet another coach from Spain, favours quite an attack-minded 4-3-3. Sometimes a 4-2-3-1, sometimes a 4-4-2, but mainly he goes with a 3 up front, 3 in midfield with 4 at the back. He's got emphasis on quick play down the wings, a solid midfield, as I've already mentioned, and they move the ball quickly. The process is get the ball, get it down the flanks, get it across to the front men. So if their front line does start with Utara, Evan Nilsson, and Kluivert on Monday night, our defence is going to be in for quite a busy time. Now, in the wide berths, like I've already said, players like Milos Kerkez will provide essential width down the left flank. And he's a player to look out for on Monday night, as he's already scored a goal and provided 2 assists. So it's going to be interesting to see who plays against him on that right side of defence. Iraola is yet another coach who focuses more on the counter-attack than on possession-based football. Like I said, packing the midfield is the play that Iraola prefers, and the aim is to stifle a passing game, an opposition passing game, and winning the ball back from the opposition as soon as possible. Our slow passing game is likely to be quite severely tested by this setup, and it'll be interesting to see how Lopetegui goes about this game, knowing that Bournemouth are going to do just that. It's interesting, in many of the games that we've talked about, we've looked at the opposition and we've looked at the way that they play against their opposing sides and their strengths and the qualities that they have. We know what Bournemouth are going to do. We know that they're going to stifle the midfield. We know that they're going to that they're going to stop us from playing the possession-based passing game. So let's see what Julen Lopetegui does in order to combat that. As I've been saying over the past few months, more and more teams are adopting the approach of a quick play. You know, get the ball. Don't worry too much about possession. Get it out wide, get it across into the box, get it to the front men. And Bournemouth, like most other teams, like Nottingham Forest, etc., are doing that to great effect. Now, what might catch Bournemouth out, despite scoring 23 goals this season, is they are rather susceptible at the back, having conceded 20 goals already. Now, look, it's not the worst goals conceded record in the league, but there are only 2 teams above them who have conceded more, and that's Aston Villa and, surprise, surprise, Man City, who lost 2-1 at home to Man United again today. However, we are worse, as we've got the 3rd joint worst record of goals conceded so far this season with 28 goals. Other teams at that level include Ipswich and Brentford. But it's our 20 goals scored which is of equal concern, because despite creating many chances, we're simply not putting those chances away. So again, it's going to be quite interesting to see how Lopetegui lines up, not only in defence to see how we counter Bournemouth, but also in attack as well. So it'd be quite interesting to see what he does. Now, in terms of lineup, he could go, I think, even though Iraola is back, I don't think really Fabianski has really done much to demonstrate that he's any much better than Iraola. But I don't think Lopetegui is going to change the goalie. I think he's going to stick with Fabianski for this game as well. In defence, we don't have Emerson at the back because of suspension. So Lopetegui will need to decide what he does to cover that side. Now, many might suspect that Aaron Cresswell might step into the fold, but I don't believe that to be the case. I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is very likely to switch across to the left again, which he's done pretty well when he has gone to the left side of defence. And then that leaves the right side of defence to Phil, which could be either Soufal or Mavropanos to step into. Now, the last time Summerville played, I think he demonstrated why West Ham will need to dip into the transfer market in the summer to find a suitable replacement for him and someone that can compete against Aaron Wan-Bissaka for that right back berth. I know he hasn't played that many games. Granted, if you don't play, you don't get match sharpness, etc. But alas, despite the efforts that Summerville puts into every game out there on the pitch, he plays with his heart and his soul. There's no denying his endeavour, but I do believe that his time as a Premier League footballer is coming to an end. He's at the end of the contract, his contract this season. At the end of this season, I'm not so sure, despite the rumours that he may be offered a new contract. I'm not so sure that that's going to be the case. So for me, it may be that Mavropanos is selected over Summerville for that right back spot, with Todibo and Kilman partnering each other in central defence. And when I talked about Crysencio, you know, we need to sort of combat that attack and display down the left side from the left back. I think maybe in terms of strength, etc., Mavropanos might be a bit more of a match against Crysencio than Summerville will. As for midfield, I still haven't really seen enough of Lucas Paqueta to suggest that he walks back into this lineup. So I suspect that Souček, Soler, and Alvarez will keep their places, and they're likely to size up against the midfield three of Ryan Christie, Lewis Cook, and Antoine Semenyo. I think, like for like, we're a match for them. Then up front, in the game against Wolves, Lopetegui went with Bowen up front, Kudus and Summerville on each flank. I would love to think that Lopetegui will give this setup time to flourish and develop and gel, but my gut says Lopetegui will yet again bench Crysencio Summerville, move Kudus back out on the left, put Bowen on the right, and quite possibly bring Niclas Fullkrug into the lineup for a rare start. Now, if that was to happen, then maybe Summerville might start on the right side because of his understanding with Jarrod Bowen over previous seasons. They've often worked quite well down the flanks, but like I said, I think Mavropanos will be a better bet against Crysencio than Summerville will. Now, what's also going to be interesting, if Kudus does start out on the left, is how well Kudus and Wan-Bissaka work with each other, how well they might team up together. They've got pace there, they've got creativity between the two, and they could really cause Bournemouth quite a few problems down that left flank if they sort of gel together. Now, that's something to possibly look out for. Look, this isn't going to be an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. This is going to be quite a tough gig away to Bournemouth on a cold Monday night. But if we put in a half-decent performance that we know we can, who knows what the outcome might be. If we win, if we draw, then maybe the Lopetegui out noise might die down a little bit more. If we lose, then I guess it's going to be ramped up again. Now, what score do I put for this? We can't keep a clean sheet. But then again, I don't think Bournemouth can either. I think they've only kept a few clean sheets, a bit like us so far this season. So it's going to be another score. There'll be both teams, I think, will score. I'd love to think we can nick this one, because if we could, it will certainly give us a massive boost. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 away win. Confident? Well, why not? Because I didn't think we would win against Newcastle, but we came away with a good result there. The performance against Wolves wasn't great, I must admit. But let's see what happens in this game. It's going to be, you know, there's so much riding on it for both teams. In terms of Bournemouth, there's so much riding in it to get, you know, closer to those European places. For West Ham United, there's so much riding in it. We want a good performance as well as a win. That's the important thing, because a good performance will elevate us up a little bit more in the league and get us even further away from the lower half of the table. And then we've got the second half of this season to come. So a 2-1 win to West Ham. Thank you for joining. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, or if you've been here before and you've yet to subscribe, please become a subscriber. And whether you subscribe or not, please do hit that like button. I'll be at the Bournemouth game, so no West Ham Weekly on Monday nights, but I will come back with a reaction show straight after the game. I would be with Paul and Wiggy, so I'm sure they'll put their tuppence worth in as well. There will be another pre-recorded show in the morning to talk about the latest rumours, certainly about all the transfers that are happening. So look out for that tomorrow morning as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all soon.